Mississauga's community station, the hayesfm.ca. I'm here with the owner of Jackal Comics, Kevin Jackal Johnson. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you very much for having me this morning.
Thank you. So we're going to be talking about your new web comics. So, well, let's start out by, if you could tell our listeners a little bit about what are web comics.
A webcomic would be a comic book that is released online. It still follows the same principles of a comic. It has a cover, it has pages, but the artist or the creator tends to release it one page at a time, usually on a schedule, say every Monday. Instead of printing the book, he actually puts everything online. It's an easier way to build an audience, and what you can do is build an audience while you're still producing the book. If you've drawn 10 pages in advance, you put page 1 up, and you've now bought yourself 10 weeks to get caught up on the artwork or to stay ahead of the artwork.
What's the storyline?
Storyline, we start off in 1929, just before the stock market crash. We have a main character named John Devlin, who has incredible empathy and a love for the human race. But through an unfortunate act, he has died and ended up in the bad place, in hell as opposed to heaven. He has to serve hell for 50 years to acquire his one earthly desire before advancing to the next level of demon. We learn that hell is actually a very well-run corporation. But
that sounds believable.
It's a lot of fun. He gets to train a complete loser who dies 50 years later in 1979. And the two of them, in the year 2012, get summoned to Earth accidentally, and now the two of them are lost in downtown Toronto 90 years after the death of our first character. Naturally, he has a very difficult time getting used to his new culture, but he also, as he was pulled into our time frame, into our dimension, has merged genetically with every single dog that was at a dog show. He just happened to be right in the middle of it. He can turn into any dog that he wants, and his one earthly desire that was given to him by Satan himself is to be a gymnast. So he's a very agile guy with a lot of compassion who can be a dog.
So you have a gymnast dog.
Well, we have the nicest demon that ever existed. The other guy who's with him, his name is Retro Rat. We're leaving his name out of it because his name is not important. His antics are important.
He does have a cool name, though.
Yes, he does. And he's got a cool haircut. Well, actually, no, he doesn't. He looks awful. But he died in the 70s. He's a disco dancing guy and just doesn't seem to care that he's now a demon, too. He thinks everything is funny. He accidentally merged with the only rat in the building at the time. So his superpower is to turn into a rat.
Rat powers.
A rat,
Okay.
yeah, whatever a rat can do.
So why are you taking on this project?
I'm 40 years old now, and I love to write. I have been working in an industry that I like but not love.
Okay.
I love comic books. I love entertainment. I love anything to do with graphic novels and superhero films. So it's time to make a shift. I'm married to a great lady who's in full support of me changing careers now, and that's
awesome.
It's what I've chosen to do.
Are you the author?
I am the author, yes.
Okay. So just to get to know you a bit more, what are some of your favorite comics?
Some of you kids are going to laugh when you hear this, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was my favorite comic book of all time before it became a toy line. Back in the days when it was a black and white comic book, printed oversized, and it was incredibly violent. The characters were turtles, and they knew they were turtles, and they had a lot of emotional problems based on the fact that they were turtles. So yeah, I did love the book. I will admit to loving the old Transformers series. Grade 7 is when I bought my first one. Those would be my two favorite.
I have a very serious question
Go
for
ahead.
you. Do you like Ren and Stimpy?
I have to admit to that too. Sorry, yes, I do.
It's okay, I do too. I'm here with the owner of Jackal Comics, Kevin Jackal Johnson. We're going to get back into some more great music, and then we're going to be discussing his comics some more right here on The Cheryl Walt Show. Welcome back. You're tuned into The Cheryl Walt Show here on the hayesfm.ca. I'm sitting here with the owner of Jackal Comics, Kevin Jackal Johnson. We're talking about his new webcomic coming up. Now, let's talk about the comic. When did you start writing comics?
I started writing comics, I'd have to say 1989 to 1990. I didn't produce my first comic, though, until 1993. It was called Floyd. That particular book got me in a lot of hot water because it was written by an immature 23-year-old who was sexually frustrated, and it was incredibly violent and incredibly sexist when I had released it. You know, looking back at it now, I understand where my mindset was at. But the book did okay. We did a book for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, entitled The Hamilton Tiger Cats, the actual football team. And after that, I released 4 other kids' books, which sold well because family stuff sells. But I walked away from the industry for a while to get into the internet industry. And, well, here we are, full circle.
How'd you come up with the storyline?
I really wish I could sit here and tell you that I had some big epiphany and I saw the angels humming in the background, but
You didn't?
I didn't. It just popped in my head. You know, a demon dog would be cool. A smart mouth rat would kind of be cool. I'm going to start writing a story. I'd say I wrote in my part-time. It wasn't a full-time thing at all. I wrote the story over the course of 6 months, 5 minutes here, 20 minutes there.
Yeah.
I pull over in the Tim Hortons parking lot, have a coffee, write a couple of lines, and well, now it's a full-blown book.
Tell me a little bit about digital comics and digital media.
Digital media is the future as far as I'm concerned. Printing costs have dropped considerably from where they were 10 years ago, but it doesn't change the fact that they still cost. You have to buy a full-color spot on a printing press and get a book printed. Then you have to find a distributor and pay all the shipping costs and drive around. It's crazy. Digital media simply allows you to create a book, a comic book, a comedy sketch, a video, and stick it out there for the whole world to see. You may not make money off it right away, but if you can get its popularity up, you will.
Is it a greener choice because it's paperless?
I don't know. You know, I'm really not sure how many nuclear reactors there are running specifically to keep web servers up. I'm also not too sure where even our government stores the leftover stuff. So I'm going to say no.
Okay. Well, unsure at this time. Okay, let's talk about comic book art and animation, how it's evolved.
It's evolved to the point where styles become popular and then unpopular within about a year's time.
So it's trendy.
It's very trendy.
Yeah.
But the trend is going to stay where animation is the best way to get things going. For example, I'm wearing a hockey jersey right now that I've designed, which is really just a big comic book on a shirt, which you could see on futurestarsarena.com if you wanted to have a look at cartoon-based hockey jerseys. Animation is huge now, and it's going to get even bigger. It's just a matter of really, how do you profit from it? I haven't learned that one yet, but I'll get back to you on it.
We'll get a picture of your jersey and we'll put it up on our Facebook page.
That would be wonderful.
Okay, cool. So when can people see your comic? When are you guys launching?
Today at 5 p.m., we're going to put the first 5 pages up for you to get the story rolling. And
Today, 5 p.m.
Today
it's rolling.
at 5 p.m. In fact, I think by the time I finish speaking, it's already online.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's demondogcomic.com. We're going to give you a new page every Monday and every Thursday.
So a new one on Monday, new Thursday. So you're really launching like 2 pages every week.
2 pages per week. That's correct. We've drawn far enough in advance that we can keep that schedule going for the next year.
Okay. Do you want to give our listeners the website one more time?
I'd love to. That's www.demondogcomic.com.
The heartbeat of Mississauga, the hazefm.ca. I'm Cheryl Wald. I'm here with Kevin Jackal Johnston. He's from Demon Dog Comics. We're talking about Demon Dog Comics you guys launched today. Now, tell me, who's your favorite character from your book?
I would have to say Retro Rat, and the reason I'll say that is not because I'm a good disco dancer and not because I'm bald yet. He is slightly overweight, which, as you see, I am too. You know,
we all are.
Oh, we all are.
We all are.
I'm actually quite proud of my gut, though. I'm 210 pounds, and in hockey and football, nobody can move me. That's a big advantage. But what I like about the character is that he takes very little in life seriously. And it's not that I'm going to tell anybody out there that being dis-serious all the time is a good idea, but he doesn't take himself seriously. And I don't either. I understand my lot in life. I'm 5'5". I'm very wide and very chunky, and that's it. So I'm a short, fat, white guy. And I can live with that because I don't take it seriously. I'm not interested in having six-pack abs, and this guy isn't either. He just goes with the flow and really enjoys himself every day of his life, even though he's a dead demon rat.
Is that the character you relate to the most?
I would say
Rat?
so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Right
absolutely, yes.
Did you base the characters on real people?
I would like to say yes to that. My dear Uncle Johnny, who passed away back in the 80s, had a very polite demeanor to him, and he used a lot of antiquated phrases such as balderdash and heavens to Betsy. He would say things like this. And, you know, due to the miracle of Google, I Googled these terms, and I found out that they're 20s and 30s terms.
Wow.
I don't know why he was using them, but he was.
I thought Balderdash was a game.
It is.
Yeah, okay.
But I believe it was an old way of swearing too.
Oh.
Kind of like poppycock and what were the other ones? Give me some antiquated phrases
I don't
here.
know, we're on community radio. There's no other words.
There's actually a snack called poppycock, which I love, by the way. Yes,
Caramel
there is.
popcorn, yes, delicious.
Absolutely.
That's what we're talking about, kids.
So would it be that he inspired the politeness of the character, but I wouldn't say the character was based on him because Uncle Johnny was like me, short and chunky, not tall and good looking.
What are the advantages of web comics, graphic novels?
Well, the advantages would be this. I mean, first off, you don't have to pay printing fees or distribution fees. You don't have to waste your time trying to talk major distribution centers into carrying your book. The printers aren't going to screw it up. The printers aren't going to be late. FedEx isn't going to lose it. It's all online where you control it. But the other thing is, please note this one, guys. Anyone who does comic books, Hollywood is out of ideas, and they are buying up the rights to every single graphic novel out there that has even a slight audience to it. So you might make yourself 20 grand selling the rights to a company. You might make yourself $500,000. It really does depend. The advantage being here with a webcomic, you can get access to Hollywood people like you never could before.
Are you saying that there's a potential that Demon Dog and Retro Rat could be Hollywood stars?
I think they possibly could. In fact, I know that they can because the way I've written the characters are, there's a very good relationship between them. And characters that have very good relationships on screen or in print, those are the ones that Hollywood is after. Best example I could give you would be Family Guy between Brian and Stewie.
Oh,
the
wow.
relationship these two guys have is, in some cases, even very emotionally moving.
They're pretty popular. They are. Okay, I watch it. Okay, are there a lot of graphic novels that come out of the GTA area?
There are. And
Okay.
I've met a lot of artists in the Greater Toronto area. I've actually met quite a few from New York as well, having lived there. I'll say this. There's a lot of dynamite artwork out there and a lot of really talented artists, but they don't have business sense or the gumption just to go that next step. Guys, listen to me. And girls. If you guys have a really good idea, show it off. And don't worry about rejection because everybody on the internet is a hater. So display it and take every single time someone says it sucks as a mark to improve something about it. But please get it out there and make friends with other artists online. Even if your relationships are just online, do it. So yes, there are tons of you out there, but you're not doing anything about your talent. Please start. I love comics. I want to see more.
You're the first webcomic guy we've had here.
Yeah, well,
You know?
I'm very happy to be a part of this. Thank you.
So is your comic always going to be free?
We haven't really decided that as of yet. For the next year, I can guarantee you, yes, that by this time next year, you'll still be able to read the adventures of these guys free of charge. We would
Sweet.
ask that you visit our sponsors and perhaps donate something. We will have merchandise available in June, such as T-shirts, commemorative plates, if we can find a supplier
Cool.
for it. Oh, and skateboards. Yes, we will have Demon Dog and Retro Rat skateboards
right
for
on.
sale. Yes, we will.
Okay, so how do people find you online again? Like, how do they Google you? How do they find your comic online?
If you were to type in Demon Dog and Retro Rat in Google, you'll certainly find
Okay.
us. But the actual domain name is www.demondogcomic.com.
What's happening this weekend? I know you got something going on this weekend.
Yes, we're going to be at the Wizard World Comic Con this coming weekend. It's wizardworldcomic.com. You can buy tickets online there, I believe. Come and see us. We've got a booth, and we're going to be there all weekend long. That's the April 14th weekend, 2012.
So they're looking for Demon Dog comic.
Yes, we're going to be the
Yes.
guys with the blue and black triangular booth. I like to do things different, so our booth is triangular, not square.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for coming on, and good luck. Kevin Jackal Johnston, Demon Dog Comics, launching today right here in Mississauga.
Thank you.
We're going to get back to more great music. Werewolves of London on the Hayes FM.